So the latest Legacy sequel has been released, and the next franchise to get this treatment is the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise. I hadn't seen any of these before last night. I had to rent the original because it's literally impossible to find it on streaming in the UK. I have no clue why. I practically had no time to get it on physical media either, so I had to rent it. I did manage to catch the sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't bother with the third, heard it was bad, heard that you didn't need to watch it for this one, which is true, so that settled my prayers. I actually really enjoyed the original one. I had a lot of fun with it, thought the story was engaging, loved the actors, good kills. It's exactly what you want from a slasher horror. I just can't believe it took me this long to watch this film because I can really see myself rewatching this a lot more in the future. One of those where it's not the greatest slasher horror you've ever seen, but I had so much fun with it that I would love to show this to my friends if ever we want to watch a horror film. Knowing my friends, barely ever going to happen, but I will suggest it nonetheless. The second one is none of this. The quality drop was quite drastic and quite noticeable. It was quite a slog to get through, so when I found out the third was worse than that one, I just thought, nah, fuck that. Let's just watch the first two and then watch this one. What did I think of 2025's I Know What You Did Last Summer? I'm very confused by what I think is the short answer. Before we get into it, if you enjoy film, please follow, like, and subscribe to the socials. It would be much appreciated. And this will be a spoiler-free review, so watch as you please. I Know What You Did Last Summer follows a group of friends, Danica, Ava, Milo, Teddy, and Stevie, who accidentally kill a member of the public in a car accident and attempt to cover their tracks to avoid the consequences. However, they realise someone is aware of the crime when they send messages and letters to them, toying with them, and then they realise that this person is a copycat killer dressing as the same fisherman who conducted the killings in Southport in 1997. The friends then ask the two survivors of the 1997 attacks to help them. I did enjoy myself with this, but there are quite a few noticeable issues I had with it as well, which is why I'm so confused. When you think of a slasher, arguably the most important thing is the kills, and I think they did a pretty good job here. Kept each kill to be quite different, which is actually quite hard considering the killer's main murder weapon is a fisherman's hook. Look, I wasn't on the edge of my seat, but I was always thinking. They never really did the same thing twice. There wasn't a death at every interaction with the killer. They kept that fresh and I liked it. I like the references that they pulled to the first two. You know, I grew up with Marvel and DC movies. I'm an absolute sucker for an Easter egg. This is coming from someone who literally watched the first two films the night before my screening. Like, I haven't been a long-term fan of this franchise at all. I think with legacy sequels, you can get very caught up in the amount of these. Some people will hate the references, and I get why, but I know that fans of the franchise, long-term fans of the franchise, are going to absolutely love all these references and these throwbacks and seeing some of these original characters back on the big screen. My issue with these characters is that I'm just not too sure how much they added. There is a bit of advice given here or there, and, you know, that is the main reason why they're there. And they do play a bit of more of a role. I'm just not entirely sure what it did. I'm not going to lie, the way Freddie Prinze Jr. entered, I did have a smile on my face. And the same goes for Jennifer Love Hewitt. This is not a spoiler, they're both in the trailer. The film is a guessing game, much like the original two were, and I enjoy that about them, and I enjoyed that about this. I had a lot of fun trying to figure out who was the killer, trying to see what clues had been left out for me, and seeing if my deducing skills were up for the challenge. They weren't. I nearly got it right, but I know some people were out there be saying, how did you not get it? It was so obvious. Yeah, well, I didn't see the twist coming either, so comment on that. No, please, actually, don't do that. I might cry. I wasn't a fan of the twist. I'm obviously not going to say what it was because of spoilies, but I didn't see it coming, but it felt rushed. I sort of felt like they didn't really know what to do here, and even though what was being said makes sense, it relates to earlier on in the film, I just felt like it was dumped here for, like, no particular reason. I liked the characters. I don't think I loved them like I did with Julie, Helen, Barry, and Ray in the original. I think it's just down to how similar this is to the original film. Other than the friends asking for Ray and Julie's help, it's so similar plot-wise. So I was just imagining these characters trying to replace them. Even though that's not the case, that's still why I liked them. If they were actually trying to replace these characters, I would have hated them. That's not what they were trying to do. It just felt like it a little bit. I can already tell that critics aren't really gonna like this one. Let me check that, actually. Let me check what they think. Let me go to Rotten Tomatoes. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh, that's harsh. 38%, that's harsh. The audience is 67, that's better. That's a lot better. 38% is too harsh. It really isn't that bad. But I can still see the issues, which I think a lot of them are going to say. The true fans of this franchise will love it. And at the end of the day, that's kind of all that matters here. If any others can enjoy it, bring them into the franchise more, then that is a huge bonus. Like myself. Before yesterday, I hadn't seen any of this franchise. Now I've seen 3 of them. I'm invested. I want to watch another one. If another is released, I will be there. So I give I Know What You Did Last Summer 3 stars, closer to a 3.5 than a 2.5. And let me know what you thought of I Know What You Did Last Summer. If you've seen it already, did you like it? Did you not? How do you think it compares to the original? And if you haven't seen it, are you looking forward to it? If you're a fan of the franchise, let me know. I'll see you in the next.